Check, check. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Global Canvas Tattoo Teardown. I got a user submitted tattoo today, something I've never seen before, but we're gonna take a look. We got it pulled up, and I'm gonna let you know what I think. So let us jump right in. What do we got? Oh, okay. I like skulls. I like dead stuff. Let's see. It's not terrible. I don't know who this artist is. I don't know anything about this tattoo. Let's see what we got. Zoom in here. All right. It's a tight tattoo. There's a lot going on here. Okay, so zoom back out for a second. All right, so a couple things hit me right away. There is a sharp downward light, sharp direction of light coming here. You can see because these bright highlights on the brow ridge here and on the orbital and on the bottom of this orbital. There's some specular highlights on the bridge of the nose, but this is the dead giveaway right here, right? Light definitely dropping right down from here, hitting the top. I love this like sinewy, stretchy, oh, you guys can't see it on there. I love this sinewy, stretchy piece right here. But the only thing that bugs me is that it's not reflected over here. And it looks like that is because it just disappears like into smoke. So this shoulder disappears into smoke. So unfortunately I can't imagine what it would be like without throwing it into Photoshop. But that's pretty rad. I do like quite a bit that little sinewy stretchy piece right there. That's a lot of harsh contrast. It pops the whites pop it forward as they tend to do. I like the control of dark and light here. You got to think of this as not as a skull, but as like a sphere. And if you have a sphere and the light's hitting it from the top, the point that the light hits first, your specular highlight, that's your brightest highlight. And as the light moves around the sphere, it gets progressively darker, I guess is what I'm looking for. Less light is going to hit that sphere as it moves away from that highlight. So if the light is hitting the top of the skull here, then it should be disappearing away, which means if the light hits here and it wraps and diffuses as it comes down here, there is no reason why this highlight should be as bright as this highlight, and it is not. This artist made the right decision pumping in these dark, these low light highlights, if you will. I think the 3D effect is really good on these teeth. I think it looks awesome. The roundness of it is great. I'm not 100% a fan of dead-on symmetry when it comes to skulls, like perfectly. I've done a million of them, but I'm like 90% into it. I just think if it was on a little bit of an angle, it could be a little bit more interesting. But this is a big, it looks like a thigh, right? There's like a kneecap and there's the back of the calf right there. So if this is a big outer facing piece, it was meant to look right on at you. So I think it's the right decision for this. That was probably between the artist and the tattooer figuring out what the design was going to be. I see tons of texture, very, very cool. Like it quite a bit. If you want to see how a tattoo is going to age, you could probably see me do it already with my face. You just look at it and squint super, super hard, and it'll remove a lot of the highest highs and the lowest lows and just average things out. In doing that with here, in like 15 years or so, 10, I don't know the tattooer, so if their technique isn't solid, maybe less, but we'll get a lot of muddying up and darkening down here, and you'll have this still peeking out pretty bright. So that's cool. You can always come in and cut in some new highlights down here in the future if it does kind of flatten out over time. But yeah, all in all, not terrible. I can see a lot of dilated pores, which is mostly on the client's body, their skin type. I can see, I don't know if you guys can make it out in the photo or not, but there seems to be less saturation up here and more like skin showing through the back, whereas this gets much more deeply saturated, as does this. And I'm willing to bet you, we start our session here, client's feeling great, okay, how much longer, ouch, I can barely take it. All right, let's just finish this fucking thing up. So I bet you, I'm willing to bet the tattoo started down here in the lower right hand section, moved up this way, and by the time it got up to here, the client was like, I am out, I'm done. Which you can always come back and smooth that out if you need to, or resaturate if you need to, but honestly, black and gray, it's going to settle down with your skin tone, and you probably won't notice the difference once it's settled down. These, I want to say these are opaque grays, but I just don't know, because like these little effects here, these would be way easier to tune with just gray washes. I would love to know who this artist is so I can get some answers. But it feels like opaque grays in here, so maybe it's a blend of the two. This feels washed or rushed, because again, it was probably the end of a session and the client was over it. You can see there's some actual, man, all right, give me a second. I'm gonna adjust my frame here so you guys can see the width of this a little bit better. All right, watch this. Let me open this up a little bit. All right, there we go. Now you can see the width a little bit. So there's some really good variations in here. In this part of the orbital, I can see so many layers moving backwards into space, whereas if you zoom out, it just looks like, you know, black. But you come in here and you got this ridge line here with this piece that's sitting forward more. This is moving backwards. You got a couple layers distinct going back there. Same thing in the nose, same thing down here underneath the mandible, moving backwards into space here. I love it. I don't know if it's gonna last, because again, those are like, you got your, if you think of values on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the darkest, 0 being the lightest, you got like 10, 9, and 8 playing with each other right next to it there. Looks great for the piece, looks great for the photo. It'll probably look great for a while. Can't guarantee that that would last forever, but it's pretty rad. All in all, I think it's a pretty cool tattoo. I will say there's a little, you know, if I'm nitpicking, if I'm really trying to find a way to be unfair about it or something, there's a little bump over here that I don't like. You know, where this is supposed to be super smooth, but again, this is just being nitpicky. I love this texture in here. This is so great. One of the things that I'm completely enamored with is how soft these edges are here and how sharp these edges are here. Like, these look like they were pulled in with a liner, whereas these look like they were just kind of magged down. And that tells me that this person does fine art outside of tattooing, and they've learned this concept of lost and found edges and dialing in the contrast between your soft and your sharp to give illusions of depth. I think that's good moves, buddy. Whoever this is, guy, gal, whoever you are, good moves. I don't like that these two divots right here are lined up so symmetrically, because it makes it look like a couple of eyeballs. But again, this is a great tattoo. Very cool. Awesome. All right, thanks. That was you know, tattoo teardown, guys. If you have anything that you want to see, if you have any pieces that you'd love me to dive in or get my opinion on, you're more than welcome to throw them my way. Check that out on the Instagram over here. You can find me at St. Carlos on Instagram. You can just slide into the DMs and drop a picture. If you can tag the artist, please do, because I'd love to give them credit. If it's a really shitty tattoo, like poorly done, crappy house tattoo, please send over the artist information so I can give them the credit that they're due. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Peace.